Hi everyone, it's Sam, studio painter for Transatlantis Games, and we're back with the next part of our weekly series showing you how to get each Horus Heresy Legion painted ready for battle using our awesome 2 thin coats paint range. This week we're painting the blood-hungry berserkers of the World Eaters. Let's get started. Starting out with a light primer, I use Trooper White and I base coat any areas which are going to be white. As ever with base coats, the trick is to keep the brush moving, make sure the paint is thin enough that 2 thin coats does the job, and don't go back over any areas which are already drying. Make sure they're fully dry before you go back over with another coat. Once the base coat's solid, smooth and dry, we're coming in with Carcharodon Grey and we're going to thin it down 3 parts water to 1 part paint, and we're going to use it as a recess shade, in which case we start to paint it into any areas where armour meets armour and any recesses on the armour panels themselves. Next we're going to block in the blue areas of his armour, which are the shoulder pads and his backpack, and for this we're using Abyss Blue. Don't worry about the messiness of the first coat, as subsequent coats will neaten it up. Moving on, we're going to use Doom Death Black and we're going to paint the bolter and any soft areas on the armour. The reason we're switching colours so much is so that if we make any mistakes, we're only using the base coat colours to repair them, rather than having to redo all the highlights and details as well. Again, don't worry about the messiness of the first coat, as subsequent coats, as with the blue, will neaten it up and make it a block colour. Next up is the base coat for the silver metals, and for this we're using Dwarven Iron. Once we've done the silver areas, we're going to use Battle Axe Brass to base coat the brass areas. Once the Battle Axe Brass is dried, we're going to come in with Oblivion Black Wash, and we're going to wash the silver areas, the brass areas, as well as recess shade the blue. Following on from this, once the recess shade is dry, we're using Leviathan Blue and we're going to edge highlight any of the blue areas. Next up, we're taking Dungeon Stone and we're going to edge highlight the casing on his bolter, as well as the edges of the ribbing on his armour. Moving on, we're taking a slightly different approach to defining the edges of the armour, and for this we're using Scorched Brown. We're going to carefully just dot and scratch and chip and little tiny lines all along the edges of the armour. It doesn't have to be all of the armour, but just quite a lot of the armour, just to create definition as well as making the model look battle damaged. And to finish up the model, we're going to do the lenses. To start with, we're going to use a base coat of Dread Red. And finally we're using Demon Red to highlight the lenses. And here's the finished World Eater, ready to claim some skulls. I hope this video has given you some techniques that will let you get a good looking army on the table quickly. Please like and subscribe to our channel, where there will be more Horus Heresy Legion schemes, as well as hints and tips in the future.